I want to thank everybody that I've talked to in the past 42 years I've been alive. It's been a pleasure being a part of your life and all the friends and people I've met along the way. It's been a very special time. And I've been through a lot of ups and downs in my life. And I want to thank everybody that I've come across my past and helped my life. I want to thank all of you. And the reason why I say that is because this isn't a message for to feel good. It isn't a message of reassurance, but it is the truth, and I think it needs to be said before what else is going to happen this winter. I'm Brian Butt for the Eclectic News Network. Just want to let you know that evil has gotten a foothold in this country so deep that the next couple years are going to be very painful, and that I don't think people are going to really understand why they're in the position they're going to be in. I'll be honest with you, sometimes I wish I took the blue pill and didn't know anything. I wish I didn't read white papers, and I wish that I was ignorant, and I wish I didn't look at what I should look at. I wish I just liked sports all day and just did that stuff. That's not who I am. I took the red pill about 15 years ago, and I knew what they were planning all along. I didn't really tell people about it because I think people would think I'm crazy, but it's all come to pass. And evil's such a foothold in this country, the United States, that we're not even in the bad part yet. People think this is the worst. This is, looking back in this in September of 2021, looking back, this will be the good times. Oh, I'm being serious. They're already talking about a second lockdown. Now, the Supreme Court of each state, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Washington State, New York, Supreme Court of all those states said it's unconstitutional. But they go, hey, can I be a dictator for 2 more weeks? They're not going to stop. It's never going to end. And I hear people say, oh, it's got to end. It's got to end. It's just bright. It's got to end. Wake the fuck up. It's never going to end until you stop complying. That's it. There's no other way out. There's no, well, I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and I'm going to tiptoe to the tulips and everything's going to be A-okay. I'm just Mr. on the fence. You know what God does to people on the fence? He spits them out of his mouth and you're gone. That's what he does to us that do that. You have to be non-compliant. That's the only way out of this. Because it's going to get so bad that it's hard to even articulate it. But you think masks are bad now. Wait until you have to have a vaccine to even enter a building. Wait until you have to have a vaccine or you can even see your loved ones with a smart tracing app. They're coming out with that in a lot of states, folks. Look it up. And if you don't take the vaccines down the road, all the jobs are going to kill because of this. You don't get any unemployment. You don't get any basic income unless you take the vaccine. That is a violation of the Geneva Convention, the Nuremberg trials. I can go down the list. Whatever you want to call it, it's just basic natural law. It literally just shits in its face. And people say, well, why don't you run for Congress? Why? They don't do anything. They're all compromised. Folks, the time for debate and the time for playing patty cake with these people is over. You can't. Which is why I would suggest anybody that has any means necessary to get out of the workforce, go mobile, live in a van, and travel the country so you're not located easily. People think I'm serious. I think I'm joking. I'm not. Because once this program's in place, it's beta tested this year. People bent over for the lockdowns. If we bend over the second one, it's over. It's done. Stick a fork in this country, we're fucked. There's no going back from it. And people are going to start starving to death. You watch. And I'm not saying this because I'm making it up. It's statistically inevitable. And I understand why people want to tune out, and not say anything. And well, I don't want to talk about it because it's very negative. I want to be positive. You can be positive all you want, and that's fine. But you can ignore reality. You cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Just FYI. I'm not mad at you. I don't hate you. I love you. That's why I have a duty to warn you what's going on. You can hate me, not hate me, whatever. I'm just telling you the truth as I see it. And, oh no, I have COVID. It's bad. And this is not something that happened overnight, folks. This is many generations. This goes past 9/11. 9/11 happened. The Patriot Act happened. All that stuff happened. We thought, oh my God, that's terrible. This is what's coming next is going to make the Patriot Act look like liberty to you. They want a permanent lockdown. The World Health Organization wants permanent lockdown. But not for COVID. No. But to have sustainable growth for Agenda 2030. Of course. You didn't think it was about a virus, did you? Well, they had to make a real one that has gain of function, so everybody's guilty. And basically, HIV delivery system, everybody's going to be guilty because everybody gets it. There's coronaviruses on this ice cream. There's coronaviruses in this bottle of hydrochloric acid. There's probably coronaviruses on this digestive enzymes. On these pitted prunes, there's probably coronaviruses in. On this chia seeds, there's probably coronaviruses. On this coffee mug, there's probably coronaviruses. On this tape measure, there's probably coronaviruses. On this remote, there's probably coronaviruses. On this toilet paper, there's coronaviruses. Ugh. That's my makeshift napkins because I'm having a tough time finding napkins right now. I don't know why. Don't worry, folks, I didn't use them in the toilet. So it makes everybody guilty. And basically everybody's bad. And I see the mood of this country literally just, it's a cross between just very agitated and just defeated. I see people walking now with their heads down like this, like they've already given up. And you can't give up. You got to fight back. And the information, I'm not saying violence, but if they do come to your house, or if they do tell you that you have to have a vaccine, and they tell you, court of law, that you have to take it, you have every right to not take it, and you have every right to defend yourself by any means necessary. You have a right to self-defense. That is Constitution, and that is not only that is God's law. God's law is better than our law, but God's law states if you're being attacked with a weapon, a vaccine is a weapon, you have every right to defend yourself and your family. And people think that's scary. That's nothing. These people are not going to stop. I heard Fauci today. You know, the United States has an independence. Sounds more like Bernie Sanders. And the independence of the country has an independence streak. We all know that. But now's the time to do what you're told. Listen, Fauci, we're never going to do what you fucking tell. Because you want to know why? We're the United States of fucking America. Yeah, we're not perfect, but guess what? We beat the greatest fucking Navy and the greatest fucking Army this country ever, this fucking side of heaven. The British Navy and the British Army with a ragtag band of 3% people that were just pissed off. And you think we're going to lay down to you? You got another thing coming, bro. We will never surrender. I would rather die than live on my knees. Fuck that. Excuse my language today. I don't know why people aren't fired up. Taking action. I mean, I'm sitting there, right, my congressman. I want DeWine, the governor, I want him to be recalled because he's doing things that are unconstitutional. Brian, he's a Republican. I thought you'd like him. I'm not a Republican. I'm a political atheist. I see things as they are. So what do we do? Do we stand cast in the shadow? You only have one life to live. What are you going to sit there in the history books? Folks, the next 100 years is being decided in the next 6 months. I hate to tell you that, but it's very true. We're living in fucking historical times. They are going to overturn the election of Trump. You know that, do you? I know the media is saying, oh, Trump's not going to win. He's going to win. And I'm not even for Trump. I'm not saying I'm for Trump. I'm just saying it's going to be overturned. There's so much fraud that it's not even funny. I mean, 148,000 votes for Biden, nothing for Trump. Mathematically, Binford's Law, it is totally impossible. You don't even need a recount. That's just thrown the hell out. It gone. You don't even need to recount shit. I love it. Oh, we're going to have a recount. You don't even need to recount it. It's called default fite, meaning in law terms that if the election is determined ineligible, the person with the second most electoral votes wins. That's Donald Trump. He has 230 right now. So he'll win on December 14th in the Supreme Court, and he will be elected. He will be reelected as the 45th president of the United States. Great. What is he going to do? Folks, a man on a white horse is not going to save you. He's not. He's only one person. If he gets elected, what can he do? There's only so much he can do. The only thing he can do, if he did, why hasn't he fired Fauci? Why hasn't he rescinded the emergency orders? Why hasn't he done this? Why hasn't he done that? There's a lot of questions. Why hasn't he rescinded it if it's not that bad? What Fauci's doing is criminal. He needs to be fired. And not only that, he needs to be put in Gitmo or prison. Tried by a jury of peers for what he's done. Same with that meatball and sausage in New York. Governor Cuomo, who was born on third base and thought he hit a home run because of his daddy, Mario. These people are directing us. You can't have Thanksgiving. You can't have Christmas. Fuck you. I'll have Thanksgiving and Christmas. You know, I'm going to have 100 people over. I'm going to invite 100 people over in my 1,000 square foot apartment. I'm going to have 100 people in here. 50 of them with fucking colds. What are you going to do about it? Come and get me! See where it goes? Oh, you can't have Christmas. Oh, you can't have a wedding. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, you can't do this because of COVID. And the first couple months, people are like, oh, I understand. You know, people are saying right now, literally, at work, I'm seeing it. If they say, you can't have this, They're like, I don't believe in no war, but I'll tell you what, if you keep doing this again, well, I'll fight back. So, what's the end game? Folks, the end game is simple. We don't have enough, we're $30 trillion in debt. And this country is about ready to go into the worst depression you're ever going to see. You think and the thing is I don't think people understand that. And it's kind of like I'm watching a train wreck coming in slow motion. I already know what's going to happen. And people say, well, why do you laugh? It's not funny. Well, you have to. Why the hell are these people in charge? That's what I want to know. They're getting away with it because they can, because nobody's sticking up to them. It's like a fucking bully in high school who fucking picks on you. You know what? You just stand up to the bully and say, go pop you in the mouth. I'm not for violence, I was saying literally, but you need to stand up verbally and information more. I'm not talking physically, unless you are being attacked, then you have every right to defend yourself by any means necessary. And I've always lived by the MAD policy, mutual assured destruction. I'm fine as long as you don't touch me. If you touch me, then I'm going to destroy you. Mutual assured destruction. So this was what we need to do now, is just basically get our affairs in order, and we need to really look at how we're going to fix this. Number one, how you fix this is by getting a relationship with God, getting a relationship with natural law, being a good person, warning people, telling them in a polite way, not being mean about it. Learn how to live off the grid. Learn how to make your own food. Learn how to cook off of fire. Learn how to make your own medicines. I'm being serious. Folks, I was in the grocery store yesterday. There's no beans anymore. There's no coffee beans. Now people say, well, it's organic coffee beans. It's the fancy coffee. It's not fancy coffee. It's at Aldi's. It's from Guatemalan. It's that Guatemalan roast that I love. And I grind the beans myself, a hot pour or whatever. It's my drug. I get it. I don't do drugs, but it's my drug's caffeine. I love that coffee. They're out. There's like 10 things of coffee left. That's it. They said, no, we don't have any more for the next couple months because there's a shortage. I used to love it when people used to laugh at people that bought 100-pound bags of rice or 50-pound bags of quinoa. Oh, they're not laughing now, are they? So it's coming. They're going to shut down again. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Are we going to comply and face the destruction and be shot in the head metaphorically by the middle class, by our governments? Or are we going to say no and say, screw you, go pound sand? You enter at your own risk. If you don't feel good, don't come in and say, go do this to DeWine, say, fuck you, get out of my life. That's the choice, and we shall see. The reason why we're in this position is very simple. It goes in cycles. This country was founded by moral people. We are not moral people, folks, compared to back then. The percentage of kids out of wedlock back then was like 1 out of 100,000. Kids out of wedlock now, it's like drinking a glass of water every 5 seconds. There's already one being popped out. And I'm not knocking people that have kids out of wedlock. Don't think that. I'm just saying the morality factor, meaning that the work ethic back then, the search for truth and justice back then compared to now, is a lot different than today. The pastors back then actually fought on the front lines. Our pastors today are literally apostate and sit there and read the bulletin points from the Catholic Church. You think they're going to go out there and fight with you? No, they're going to turn you in because they'll get another $5,000 credit to their 501c3 corporation. That's the name of the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be interesting. My gut says, though, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. God destroyed Judah, destroyed Israel for its wickedness, and we're going to think we're different than them. These are very powerful countries in the Bible, and they were destroyed for their wickedness. But we're exceptional. That's why we have two candidates like Donald Trump and Joe Biden. The American exceptionalism, you're fired, versus, is it Easter tomorrow? Remember we had presidents 6 years? Oh, yeah, Dwight Eisenhower fought in World War II. Guy was always about peace, and when you listen and talk, he actually talked like a president. He actually talked like a leader. I mean, Trump now, some of his appeal is that he's not a politician. I'll be honest with you, he needs a little refinement. When he sits there and goes on an interview about cases and he says, yeah, we're lower than the world. You're lower than the world? What the fuck does that even mean? I guess it's that Manhattan talking. But we've been dumbed down to a certain extent. I think all of us have. Especially by the media and the television and all that. Our only solace is that I think it's too late for our generation. I think we have to teach our kids and the next generation that communism, socialism doesn't work. And when you have 43% that believe in socialism and communism, that's not good for us old people. So when you sit there and say, oh, I just want to have fun, I've been with the kids all week, I don't care. You got 42% that want to kill you at 75. Believe me, you should start caring about what they think. That's our future. Enjoy. I don't think people realize this, but I want to thank everybody for putting up with me sometimes, because I do go off on tangents, but I will say this. I am for solutions. What do you think solutions are? I think the perfect solution is to say, look, let's file bankruptcy. Spent too much. Get rid of the Federal Reserve, get rid of the personal income tax, do tariffs and duties. We'll have about a 5 to 10 year depression. It'll be hard. But after 2028, we'll start to be able to rebuild, and things will get better in the next decade. I'm all for that. I think that's a great solution. It's going to be very painful, but I think if we do that, we have a solution to where, okay, we'll have a dollar backed by a currency that's based on gold or silver or something that's a tangible asset instead of fiat, because any fiat currency that's ever existed, not based on anything, their ending value is zero. The United States isn't any different. About the coronavirus, expose it as a real virus, but that it's not very deadly unless you don't have any vitamin C, just like the Zika or the H1N1, all those viruses, whatever. Enter at your own risk. If you come in, we're not responsible. If you're sick, stay home. That's it. And then if you are sick, we'll give you 12 extra weeks for 1 year. That'll cost $800 billion instead of $3.56 trillion, quadrillion dollars. And then the dollar of the asset class will probably collapse by 90%. The cost of a new car will be like $6,000 in 5 years. But you'll be able to buy it cash because it's based on gold and silver. It's not based on fiat. You'll have to live within your means. That means credit is very difficult to get, if not impossible. That's the way it should be. Interest rates should be favorable to a return on investment, ROI, meaning that you at least get 5% ROI at a base of your investment. Children who are born after 2015, you do not get Social Security. Bye-bye. We can't afford it. We can't afford all the entitlements. It wasn't meant to be put up for this many people. Social Security needs to be bankrupted. The people that have Social Security, put it on a two-tiered system. If you paid into it for 30 years, you get 100% of that income. You paid in for 25, you get 70%. You paid in for 20, you get 50. You paid in for 10, you get 25. Anything below 3 years, you get nothing. And I know that's a harsh thing, but that's the only way we're going to be able to survive. So it's not necessarily a cut to everybody. It means that, okay, you're getting this money. You can either have it now, or you can wait until you're 62 or 65 and get it. Or you can have it now. Paid out over a 20-year annuity, meaning that if you're getting $1,300 a month for Social Security and you've put 40 years into it, you get 100%. Well, then you can take the 12,000 times out, you would get $262,000 today, or you can keep it in the account and you can get it until you die when you turn 62. Either way. Personally, that's a good option. And then get rid of the tax on income for people's work. That's very simple too. Those are some solutions. And get back to small government, states. That's the only answer. Because, Donald Trump's not going to save you, even if he does get elected. What is he going to do? I'm just being honest. I'm not being a Debbie Downer. I'm just saying, let's focus on solutions. We're focusing on, you guys, stop the steal, stop the deal, stop the deal. That's great. Pray tell, what do we do if he does? Or if he doesn't? What are some solutions? You can't just sit here and fight forever. You got to come up with solutions, or you're going to be exhausted. I see people literally on social media all day like, doesn't do shit. So I'm all for solutions. What do you think? Personally, that's what I think. I think we need a reset, but a reset for the United States, not for the world, not a 2030 agenda, but a reset for our country. Liquidation. Get rid of the banksters. Arrest them. If Trump arrested the Federal Reserve and got rid of it, I would say he's the best president ever, because that is the source of all of our problems financially ever since it was instilled in 1913. Being truth. Excuse me.